sure will come, especially if Germany are not able to get that goal in the next 15 or so minutes.
So off we go for the second half then. Germany 0, Ivory Coast 1. And ball played out straight away from a throw-in from the long clearance away. The stand on the far side, two-tiered stand where the second tier is set a lot further back than the first tier. Hospitality boxes separate the two tiers on that far side. The bottom tier, soaked in sun. I don't know whether there's good hospitality over there in the concourse and the fans are enjoying the beers and the burgers on offer, or they're just taking as long as possible to get in the shade because it's soaked in sun and a lot of red seats as Ahmad pokes the ball in from the right-hand side, cleared away. Ivory Coast in this second half are from left to right, all in orange. Germany, white shirts with the red, yellow and black V shape across the chest. The black shorts, the white socks are now from left to right. Maple leaf indicated in between the red seats by a white outline on that stand on the far side. Still clearly visible. It wasn't for most of the first half, which shows just how many fans have made their way into those concourses during half-time. Germany 0, Ivory Coast 1. Held up by Bonny on the byline. He might have got a turn on the two defenders as well. A third one joins in Metcha, and he can bring the ball facing in the right direction for Germany, who are playing it back to Neuer.
That was risky. Wow.
And Ahmad charging in. Neuer, the 40-year-old, gets rid of it first time of asking. Had to get rid of it first time of asking. Ivory Coast pick up the ball with Diomande. Kessie, the goal scorer, midway inside the German half, and I just wonder how unsettled Germany have been by the Ivorian presence on the ball at the start of this second half, Effen.
Yeah, been a good start for the leaders of the game so far. Ivory Coast playing with the same kind of intent as they did for a large part of that first half, and now they've got something to, I won't say quite hold on to yet because it's far too early in the game, but they will have, of course, if they can get to that 70-minute mark, they'll start thinking about, right, let's be a little bit more cautious of our approach, which, of course, can be dangerous, but nothing so far that I've seen from Julian Nagelsmann's side that says that they are constant throughout that. There's one avenue that they've been able to exploit throughout the game that says, yes, this is a weakness in this Ivorian defence.
Black t-shirt on for Nagelsmann, who with a slightly frustrated face watches his side go down the left-hand side here. With Brown, Musiala takes over, step inside from Musiala, and then as he tries to lunge for the ball and poke it towards the 6-yard box, if not the far corner, challenge comes in, deflects behind for a corner.
Great cover. It was nice feet, wasn't it, from Jamal Musiala. Links up with Nathaniel Brown and just cuts inside Ivorian defender. Kosunu was beaten quite easily, but good cover, as they have done on quite a few occasions, the Ivorian players.
Nagelsmann has, I think, just waved a hand at a couple of defenders to get further forward, but nobody of the three that are back took that opportunity on. Elbow length, black t-shirt on for Julian Nagelsmann, watching on from the touchline. Fair-haired, short-haired manager of Germany, Kimmich, right-footed, hanging in cross that Fofana claims with a little skip in the sky, skip off the ground rather, towards the sky, and clutches the ball with two hands and tries to release his teammate as quickly as possible in Kessie. Back down the line it goes for Diomande, and Conan, the left back for the Ivory Coast, is able to just calm things down on the halfway line. Ivory Coast leading by a goal to nil. They've opened the scoring in both games in this tournament. They've only managed to open the scoring in one of their previous 9 at a World Cup. Prior to this one, 3 previous tournaments, never got out the group stage. They win this match tonight, and they are set for the last 32 in the knockout rounds. Ball deflects up in towards the path of Bonny. In from the left-hand side. Tar goes over with him. 2 muscular-framed men battle for the ball over on the far side. Sliding challenge comes in. Ivory Coast throw midway inside the German half.
That was great play from Ivory Coast. Went all the way from inside their own box, and the goalkeeper played out superbly well on that left side. Gislan Kone and Frank Kessie linking up well. And all of a sudden, within a space of about 8 seconds, 5 or 6 passes, right on the edge of the German box. Nice and controlled in tempo, not rushing things. West African football is very much like that, Mike, where they can play out the kind of tempo that can match Europeans for long periods, but once they get ahead, they like to slow the game down and choose their moments when to be a little bit more dynamic with everything about their play, and that's exactly as it's playing out so far this evening.
And they emerge with the ball with the captain Kessie carrying a good 40 yards down the middle of the pitch. Uses Ahmad to the right corner of the penalty area. Back through to Kessie. Kessie's got space, takes the shot. The slip as he was doing so, it hits Tar, takes the pace off the ball, and Manuel Neuer is a very grateful goalkeeper.
Yeah, the ball just ends up just almost trickling towards Manuel Neuer in the end. Yeah, nice link-up play. He does slip. There's a block in the end, a big one, as it happens from Jonathan Tah. I mean, he's only about 12 yards out, Frank Kessie. Lovely to run the ball. He plays the ball out to Amad Diallo, who don't, once again, nice play from a young player, wide play. Doesn't overplay his hand, flicks the ball back inside to his captain, who's in a great position. He said, just stumbled that little bit. Chance was lost.
5 minutes gone in the second half. Germany 0, Ivory Coast 1. BBC Radio 5 live. Toronto, the setting for this. Temporary stand away to our left-hand side, stretches way back from the pitch. They put that in with scaffolding covered by some nice decorative coverings. Ahmad forward at the other end of the field to our right-hand side. Checks back, lays it. The rising shot over the bar from in out. Right-footed, leaning back as he took it on. Neuer grateful to see that go over his bar. But that's 2 quick chances for the Ivory Coast, where they really should have had a second in this game.
Great opportunity once again. Amad Diallo doesn't overplay his hand, cuts inside and just lays it to Christian now, who's a little bit, the ball's a little bit behind him, just half a yard further forward. It's a slightly easier chance. Still goes down as a chance nonetheless. I mean, he's not going to be playing in Turkish football for much longer from what I've seen in this game so far. Once again, he was the one who started that move, dribbled past a couple of German players as if they weren't there on the halfway line. Lovely balance.
Pavlovic, who had a goal ruled out in the first half, brings the ball forward, central, out to Zane on the far right-hand side for Germany. I'll run you through the 2 teams in a moment. Here's Wirtz on the edge of the D, trying to chip it through delicately. You'd have seen that in the US Open golf at Shinnecock Hills, maybe. A little chip from the fairway by Florian Wirtz to Sane on the return, but he didn't come off for Germany. Now Havertz slides it into the penalty area right-hand side. Bodies back for the Ivory Coast, able to get the interception away up towards the halfway line.
Yeah, once again, good defending from Ivory Coast. Can hardly think of a moment in the game where one of their players has been beaten and there's not been another orange shirt to get to that ball pretty quickly, snuffing out any opportunity.
Mecha tries to cross in on the turn from the right-hand side first time. That's also blocked, so it bounces back towards Leroy Zane. Musiala, Pavlovic, again to Zane, the former Manchester City man now of Galatasaray. Right-hand side, cross comes in over Havertz, it's deep. Wirtz will knock it back into Havertz, who tries to flick the ball behind him on his right boot, the back heel, to tee himself up, but it runs through to Fofana, who clutches low down.
Nice setback from Florian Wirtz. Lovely one-touch pass inside the box with his left foot, just squared it to Kai Havertz, who was under pressure, just wasn't quite able to control it, then set himself with a turn and shot for goal.
So 8 minutes into the second half, Germany still trailing. Germany with Neuer in goal, Kimmich, Tar, and now Rudiger at the back with the replacement for Schlotterbeck at half-time. Mecha, Musiala, Pavlovic and Brown in midfield. Zane and Wirtz either side of Havertz, and that's interchanged at times during the first half as well. Ivory Coast team that come in a moment. Ahmad has it on the edge of the defensive third, near side the right for the Ivory Coast. Plays it to Singo of now Galatasaray. Tall right back with Serie A and League One experience, but not scared to venture forward. He's had a shot in this game as well on the volley that was crashed into some German defenders. Ahmad just trying to get away from Brown. Good pace between the pair of these. Ahmad turns by the touchline, plays it into the box. Kessie can't get the shot away. Good recovering from Antonio Rudiger. Just steps in front of his man before the trigger's pulled, and behind for a corner it goes.
Huge challenge. Once again, lovely footwork on this near side from Amad Diallo. He nearly skips past Nathaniel Brown. He gets checked back. Good cover from him. Look at that for the pass. Seen on the replay again, just fires the ball into Frank Kessie. That first touch just gets away from him, so important. I mean, who else? Mecha comes across. He's the one who really puts off Frank Kessie, who once again loses his footing, and then there's Rudiger just to help support.
I'll tell you what, it's got to be a concern how many times Kessie's making space in the penalty area and Germany aren't picking him up. They're arriving late to the scene as Diamande just pulls down Pavlovic as the ball runs towards the touchline. Pavlovic used his body well, invited Diamande to make the foul. He's part of the Ivory Coast side that looks like this. Fofana's in goal. Singo, Kasunu, Agbadou, Konan at the back. Here is Singo on the ball now. Gives it to Ahmad just outside the right corner of the penalty area. In out Sangare and Kessie, the goal scorer, the captain. And the only man who might miss match day 3 if he's booked on the pitch so far. Ahmad, Bonnie and Yan Diamande up front for Emma's Faye's side, the Ivory Coast manager, who came into the job midway through AFCON 2023 when they won it. Mid-tournament sacking of Jean-Louis Gasset. Initially Ivory Coast wanted Hervé Renard, who's now the Tunisian manager. Ball from the left-hand side, runs across the 6-yard box, evades everyone in an orange shirt, comes back to Singo on the right-hand side. Musiala, back to Ahmad, rather in out. Now Ahmad, Singo, 2 yards in from the touchline. It's a little bit more relaxed from Ivory Coast. They're not worried about the penalty area for now, but Sangare is allowed to venture forward, 20 yards from goal. Ahmad back through to Sangare on the angle. It will come to Yan Diamande, right foot volley, edge of the 18-yard box, and it's swiped wide of the left post.
Super player. I lost count of the number of passes that the Ivorians kept the ball. Eventually find their way to the edge of the box. It just runs out of room a little bit. And then the ball just bounces back to younger Yan Diamande on the edge of the box, snatched out that shot, bobbled into the ground and well wide of the post.
Little glance down at the floor from Emma's Faye, the Ivorian manager, who, as I was saying, wasn't initially the first choice for the role. They wanted Hervé Renard, who was at the time the French women's manager. Now, of course, appointed by Tunisia, who sacked their manager after match day 1 and that heavy defeat to Sweden. Tunisia in action tonight when they face Japan. Again, you can hear from 5 o'clock in the morning here on BBC Radio 5 Live. One of 4 games across the day.
Sorry, Mike, everybody usually wants Hervé Renard when there's been a sacking on the continent. Ended up in Saudi Arabia, didn't he? Now he's got himself another gig. I think he was.
It's Tunisia now. Long range shot from Germany over the bar.
The Ghanaians wanted him as well before they appointed Carlos Queiroz as well. Always a man in demand.
Germany here are readying another couple of changes. I can see Nadim Amiri is one of the 2 ready to come on. In fact, it'll be one of a triple change for Germany.
So
Dennis Undav is preparing to come on too. Tar wrestles for the ball, but he did have his shirt pulled by Onge Johan Bonny, the number 9 of the Ivory Coast. Looks like Jamie Leveling is about to come on too for Nagelsmann. He's left that instructions to his assistants as he watches the play from the halfway line.
There's a reason why Germany have not been able to get much going in front of that Ivorian back line in terms of, their number 10s. And they've really got 2 on the pitch, haven't they? Wirtz, who's been playing a vast majority of the game on the left side, and Kai Havertz, who loves to drop that little bit deeper. Doesn't always give the team the focal point through the middle that you would like. It's because there's a lack of trust, isn't there? What I mean by that is not allowing one of those wide players, either Wirtz or Sané, just to be a little bit less involved with that defensive work. Hog this touchline, receive the ball, not all the time, he just draws in 1 or 2, or draws an Ivorian player towards that flank.
Here is Zane, up against Conan, far side of the field. Just gets towards the edge of the penalty area and backtracks a little. Conan had his number, dinked in by Kimmich, up by Singo on the header that loops to the near side of the penalty area for Wirtz. He's powered that in towards Musiala. In comes Ahmad, little touch from him. It's behind for a corner. And he's taken quickly. And Musiala darts in from the byline. Wirtz played him in, but again, Ahmad was across.
Not threatened the Ivorian goal, have they, so far in the second half, Germany?
No, it's been quiet. Almost a quarter of an hour into the second half. Germany 0, Ivory Coast 1. Kimmich, hands on hips, feet planted on the floor, now raises a right arm in the air. In swinging delivery from this near side. Easy claim for Fofana. Tar was racing in. He took a tumble. And Tar has remained down. Rather, Havertz has remained down in the penalty area here. We'll get another look at it on the replay. He's claiming an elbow to the side of his neck from the challenge of Ibrahim Sangare. I think he's making the most of that.
Yeah, that's one way to describe it.
So Leroy Sané is the first of 3 players for Germany to go off, as is Musiala and Pavlovic too, as part of that triple change. Been a battling season from injury for Musiala, so it may be that minutes are managed here. But fresh legs on, including that of Jamie Leveling, Stuttgart player, now gets his 6th cap, involved in the squad really due to the injury of Serge Gnabry. Amiri is also on, the Mainz man. His 12 goals helped steer Mainz clear of the relegation zone in the Bundesliga. And I wait to get confirmation of the 3rd substitute in a moment. Dennis Undavon, of course, sorry. The large framed figure of Germany has caused Julian Nagelsmann some problems in the press for Nagelsmann's comments and complimentary comments. But 2 against Curaçao, and he's now tasked with trying to become the hero yet again against the Ivory Coast, because Germany are trailing by a goal to nil. Here is Wirtz. Brown back to Wirtz. Player down in the middle of the park here. Singo on the floor for Ivory Coast as the Germany attack continues on the edge of the penalty area. Rising shot from Leveling. It's got to be better than that from Leveling.
Yeah, asking a lot of himself, wasn't it? His first couple of touches. Set himself and shoot. Ivorians wanted a foul. I'm not sure who they felt was impeded. Too far outside the box.
Singo, I think, for when he went down, is it? He was just caught by Dennis Undav on his left arm.
Yeah, referee's missed that, hasn't he?
So a foul not given. Of course, Germany missing Leonard Karl in this tournament. Picked up a thigh injury just before the final warm-up game against the United States. Hugely talented Bayern Munich player, only 18 years of age. He's got creativity. They won't be able to call on that in that World Cup. And that's allowed Hassan Ouedraogo to be part of the German side. A Red Bull Leipzig player, but he's not one of the 4 that Julian Nagelsmann has called on so far. 62 minutes played here in Toronto. Half the pitch in shade, half the pitch baked in sunshine. Early 20s temperature-wise in Canada. Here's Leveling. Will have support outside of him. Leveling might choose to go alone as Havertz tries to steal in front of his man. Ball runs away to another spare defender of the Ivory Coast, and they're able to get it up towards the halfway line. Here's Kimmich. Slides the ball out towards the right-hand side. Cross will come in from Amiri towards the back post where Undav was waiting for it to drop. Singo got there first, heads it behind for a corner.
Good header. Kept his concentration. Those swinging balls with lots of height when they're coming right across the other side of the field. Never easy to deal with, especially when it's coming out of the sunlight into the shade or vice versa. It just helped it behind, knowing that there's a German play behind him. Just got the feeling, Mike, that the game is about to get a little bit more end-to-end again. Germany just starting to dominate proceedings.
Huge golden FIFA behind the goal towards our right-hand side, with the sun glimmering off it. But it's at the other end where Germany have this corner. Near side corner swung in right on top of Fofana, who came and didn't get there. The header at the back post. Wide from Havertz. It seemed like a chance begging for Germany to get the equaliser. Fofana made the call to come off his line. I'm trying to work out whether the referee's giving goal kick here or free kick here. Fofana came flat to hand, didn't get there. Havertz header wide.
Absolutely flat. Was that comment that Musfire made about being the best goalkeeper in Africa? Not on this performance today.
Nice. His save in the first half was great from the header of Havertz, but that one was a little bit lost in his own 6-yard box, wasn't he?
Well, Yasin Bruno is one of the top goalkeepers. Roman Williams of South Africa. Give me a few minutes, I could probably name about another 3 or 4 who I could put ahead of Fofana.
Maybe it was MSV just trying to pick up his goalkeeper, give him a bit of confidence.
That's fair enough.
Stood in his long sleeve, thin cotton t-shirt is MSV. He was out well early ahead of the second half. He was out before his team sat in the dugout, arms folded, waiting as they were for Frank Kessie, the captain, to lead them out for the second half. Germany in possession, player down just outside the centre circle in the form of Amiri. He'll have to get back to his feet here. They'll want him in the box. Germany coming forward here. Leveling from the left-hand side. Nutmeg Singo. The ball, though, is easily able to run for a stop from Yaya Fofana. And that will be an easy take for the goalkeeper. Amiri just getting back to his feet, hobbling around a little bit. Germany 0, Ivory Coast 1.
Caught his knee in the middle of the park on Ibrahim Sangare. That'd be painful. Take a minute or two to rub that off. Leveling just needs to take a couple of nice simple touches. He only just arrived on the field, trying to do a little bit too much as a sub. I understand he's a little bit desperate to try and make an impression. Just play yourself into the match in the next few minutes.
So pleased was he that he got the number 9 jersey for Germany. He changed his Instagram profile picture to a photoshopped image of his face with Ronaldo's haircut from 2002. Do you remember the little semicircle on the top of his forehead?
How could you forget?
So R9 maybe will turn into J9 one day, but he needs a better look at goal than the ones he's had so far. Germany 0, Ivory Coast 1, 20 minutes gone in the second half on BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds this evening. US Open follows us at 11 o'clock from Shinnecock Hills. The final day, Wyndham Clark was the overnight leader. Matt Fitzpatrick in contention as well. Here's Brown central, the left back coming in field there. His angled pass towards the edge of the D, cut out on the deflection. Another Germany corner. 7 in this game they've had.
Yeah, and if you are Julian Nagelsmann, you'll be looking to get your play just to swing the ball in once again around about that 6-yard box. Got a flapping goalkeeper, let's put him under more pressure. And sometimes just actually don't challenge for the ball, allow his own teammate to get in the goalkeeper's way, and perhaps you can pick up the pieces. Rudiger's never shy of a challenge inside any box. Let's see what kind of havoc he can cause.
Yeah, well, Rudiger's battling at the back post, isn't he? Kimmich, corner near side, in-swinging delivery, right-footed. Fofana this time flying away from his goal line, double-fisted punch as he goes to the ground. He's now claiming he's fouled, and referee's agreed with him.
Ridiculous. Referee's taken 5 seconds to decide. It's come to the conclusion that was a foul. It never was. If anything, I think he probably perhaps just barged into his own player. And he's gone to ground. He's rolled over 3-4 times. He's had a look at the referee. And he's rolling over again. Yeah, and again.
Yeah, and he's on his back. Medics aren't on to treat Fofana here. He was diving away off his goal line, double-fisted, good punch away. I mean, does he even collide with... If it's anything, it's his own teammate Kasunu, but it's not even that powerful. And it's...
Time wasting.
Yeah, stoppage in play, but no instructions to be given to the players. Ahmad's come over to this near side for a quick refreshment, grabs the water bottle. Referee will keep an eye on that, as will his assistants. Germany 0, Ivory Coast 1. Germany in their 21st World Cup. More appearances than any other European nation. They'll back home be dreaming of lifting the tournament as they did in 2014, but so far, as it stands, that big win over Curacao is going to be marred by defeat to Ivory Coast, who themselves are looking to get out of the groups for the first time, and 3 points today will give them that opportunity.
They've got to find a way, Mike, to actually stop these tactical stoppages by goalkeepers.
Cross comes in, and there is Undav! That's what he's brought on for! Cross on the right-hand side, and Dennis Undav off the bench scores again, left foot volley into the roof of the net. And Germany have their saviour, the unlikely figure. The bench goes wild, and Germany are level. It's 1-1.
That's a great finish. Superb ball from the substitute Amiri. Yeah, he's just loitering on that far side. It's a cracking ball over the head of the Ivorian defence. The first time that any German player's been completely free. There's Undav with the instincts of a striker. Volleys it from 6 yards out, right to the 68 to the 6-yard box. Past the goalkeeper. Perhaps a little bit too much pace on it for Fofana to actually come out and try and punch that one away or catch it. There's the reply they're looking for. Sometimes, mate, you actually get punished for some stupid play, and the goalkeeper's got no need to actually go down, roll around about 5 or 6 times, and just anger, the German fans and the German players. And in a way, they'd be punished for that. Give credit to Germany. Superbly crafted goal.
7 goals in 9 games for Germany. Now for Dennis Undav. Scored and got 2 assists in the win over Curacao. A man that the manager Julian Nagelsmann's had to apologise for in the past. When he scored a winner against Ghana, Nagelsmann said he can't start Dennis Undav because he doesn't have the energy. He later apologised. He might be thanking you in a moment. Havertz in the penalty area. Oh, the ball all over the place for the Ivory Coast here. Fofana manages to prevent it going out for a corner off the deflection of Kasunu. It's a little nervy now for the Ivory Coast. They've had to soak up a lot of German pressure. in the last 5-10 minutes. Germany have made them pay with getting an equaliser. Things just need to calm down here for the Ivorians.
Yeah, just as a test of their mental resolve now, whether they've got the composure to be able just to settle things down, continue to play their football when they can, don't panic. Germany will now feel as if they're in charge of the game.
Germany 1, Ivory Coast 1. Germany looking for an unbeaten start. They both won their opening games. Germany convincingly over Curacao. It was late from Ahmad against Ecuador. As Germany play a low ball towards the edge of the penalty area. Once again, Germany in white from right to left in this second 45 minutes. Ahmad's 90th minute winner was the latest winning goal by a sub since Francesco Totti for Italy against Australia in the 2006 World Cup that was held in Germany. Ahmad looking to become the second player to score in consecutive games in the World Cup for the Ivorians since Gervinho in 2014. Dennis Undav, of course, at the other end once more for Germany. And he's just hanging around in the D with the ball midway inside the Ivory Coast half. Tar finds Rudiger, lifted up right-hand side. They're looking for Undav in the 6-yard box this time. It's volleyed away, smashed away. This is one-way traffic at the moment.
Yeah, this way you need your forward players, your wide players to be able to control, just as Jan Diomande actually steals the ball from Joshua Kimmich on that far side. And you need those guys to be able to take the pressure off you by controlling. You've just been able to drive upfield and just take the sting out of the German attack. And if those players are not able to do it, the two wide players and the forward, then it's time for them to try to think about fresh legs to bring a little bit, give a little bit more spark to the forward line. That will help the midfield and the defence immediately.
So the cameras pan in on Dennis Undav, the short shaved hair of Dennis Undav, head bowed as he makes his way to this near side. The hydration break called. There's a dance cam for the fans who are waving their arms up in the air, some taking big sips of beer as the camera pans on them. The cubed screens in the corner, each corner of this ground in Toronto. 2 tiers on most sides, temporary stand at one end to increase the capacity. Red seats, not very much visible. Plenty of white shirts, plenty of German support here. A pocket of orange interspersed amongst the white behind the goal to our right-hand side. Germany 1, Ivory Coast 1. We have drama in this game. There'll be 18 minutes left or so as it stands. Plenty added on as well. Dennis Undav getting Germany level after the Ivory Coast led at the break. It is a fantastic game. It is everything we hoped it would be. Germany 1, Ivory Coast 1. Dramatic here. Any early drama of the day at Shinnecock Hills in the US Open Golf, James Gray?
Well, I tell you what, yes, because there are now only 6 golfers under par, and one of them was Rory McIlroy. He's just had 3 bogeys in the space of 5 holes, so he's now at 1 over par, which is 8 adrift of overnight leader Wyndham Clark, who's just chugging along nicely at 7 under. His nearest challenger is another American called Sam Stevens. He's at 4 under par. He's playing the 9th as we speak, but the world number 1, Scotty Scheffler, chipped in from miles away on the 14th and then birdied the 15th. He's now 1 under par. Write Scheffler off at your peril. He's now just 6 back, but looking good to post a nice 3-round total.
Commentary with James and the team available on Sports Extra 3. Ms. Faye, I think, is taking a little toilet break. The Ivorian manager emerges from the tunnel again. Black jeans on, bright white shoes on his feet for the smartly dressed Ivorian manager. Commentary also on 5 Live from 11 o'clock tonight from the US Open with Ian Carter and the team from Shinnecock Hills in New York. Football-wise, from 1 o'clock, Kansas hosts the next game at the World Cup. 1 o'clock in the morning, Ecuador against Curacao. And then from 5 o'clock tomorrow morning, Naz Faruqi, Andy Reid on duty for Tunisia against Japan. Changes coming here for the Ivory Coast, I think, in a moment. The 4th officials board is just being readied. We'll keep an eye out on who that might be in a second. Germany 1, Ivory Coast 1. If there were instructions at the hydration break, 74 minutes on the clock. Effort For Germany, I imagine Nagelsmann is saying try and rebuild that momentum you had before the break. For Ivory Coast, I think this break's come at the right time.
Absolutely. Just a few words of wisdom from the coaching staff, and no surprises making those changes. And I thought one of the forward players would be leaving, and it is the front man, and Johan Bonny, Simon Adingra, and the man who I would have thought would have been absolutely essential, Seko Fofana. Give them some extra legs and dynamic movements as well in the middle of the park. He will just give them a little bit more strength, freshness especially.
Ivory Coast, after the break in the first half, capitalised and scored not long after the stoppage. Can they do the same here? 1-1 with Germany. Confirmation that it's Bonny, Diallo and Sangare that have departed. And Angesan of Crystal Palace is on. Seko Fofana of Porto is on. And as is Simon Adingra, who earlier today will have watched his Sunderland teammate Brian Brobby score 2 goals as the Netherlands put 5 past Sweden. Cody Gakpo of Liverpool got 2, Somerville of West Ham another, Anthony Elanga got 1 back for Sweden, but by then it was 4-0 and all out anyway, and counted for little. So Sweden, who won their first group stage game 5-1, now lost 5-1. That's a quick way to lose all your goal difference, isn't it, that you built up in the tournament. Ivory Coast scored 1 in their first. Germany scored 7. Much closer and much harder work for the Germans in this game as Mecha steals the ball midway inside his own half. Plays it out towards the right-hand touchline. Germany in white shirts with the V-shaped German flag across the chest from right to left. Black shorts, white socks. Ivory Coast all in orange. The Elephants from left to right with 14 minutes left of normal time in this game. Fofana, risky a couple of times in this match, sends it long out towards the right hand side. Singo heads it out for a German throw on this near side touchline.
Yeah, let's see what happens after this hydration break that we had, which team is able to get the impetus, if any at all.
Germany have 1 substitute left. Julian Nagelsmann admit that he doesn't have the depth at his disposal that perhaps other big nations have, but claims he has faith in his side. Well, it's a substitute from the bench that's got them level, and now Vierts tries to break away down the middle, claims he's foul, holds his left shin. Referee, the Paraguayan Juan Benitez, was a basketball player in his younger days, and he's just watched that roll by and has not even given Florian Vierts a second look. 13 minutes left, 1-1. I have to say this has been one of the most enjoyable games at the World Cup so far. The tactics, the chances, and of course 2 goals to go with it as well. Rudiger finds Jonathan Tah, German mother, Ivorian father, but he's playing and has his allegiances with Germany. Vierts on the left-hand side, steps in field. Jan Diamande now on the right was with him. He's on the right because Ahmad's now departed. Strength from either wing for the Ivory Coast. Diamande pushed through on the right-hand side as well. Has space, has to slow it up. Needs support to come from the likes of Evan Gessan. Diamande with the ball close to his feet. Swept across by Inau, all the way out towards that far side, the left. This is Agbadou. Kona slows down now for the Ivory Coast, who are happy just to connect the passes between themselves. 1-1 the score with 12 minutes to go. Here's Singo, short pass in field.
Adingra with fresh legs on that right side. He's a guy who runs as well without the football as he does with. That will give the German backline something to think about. If Joshua Kimmich thought it was going to be a steady end to this match, he's got another thing to think about.
A reminder that the golf is on Sports Extra now. From day 3 of the US Open. Lyndon Clark, the overnight leader. So you can listen to commentary of that. They'll be also joining us on 5 Live Sport from 11 o'clock before Ecuador against Curacao, which is the other game in this group. Match day 3 for these 2 sides. Germany will face Ecuador. The Ivory Coast, who've never got out of the group stage, will fancy their chances against Curacao.
Not had a booking, have we? Mecha just fell, they've been 2 of the better players in this game so far. Youngsters done exceptionally well in the middle of the park for Ivory Coast.
Two players at risk of missing match day 3 against Curaçao out there for the Ivory Coast, Frank Kessie and Seiko Fofana. Here is Singo on the right-hand side. Didn't think about the cross around Brown. Well, that's a poor touch by Germany. They get away with it. Weerts was back there doing some defending, nearly cost his team as Havertz goes for a sprint. Singo eating up the yards, wins the ball back on this near side touchline, and now holds it, the ball dead on the white paint on this near side.
Oh,
He tries to,
gone.
yeah, he's just clutched his left leg, hasn't he? Yeah, and he's down on the floor. He's come onto the pitch, and that's frustrated the Germans. But Singo, in battling, as he tried to turn a pace to get back towards the halfway line, felt the left hamstring go. Julian Nagelsmann is furious that Singo has gone back onto the pitch. He could have easily walked one way over the line and be treated by the medical staff. Nagelsmann slams the ball, the spare ball, down on the floor in frustration. He's gone back to his bench.
Yeah, did he really leave the pitch, to be honest? I think he had one foot on the pitch all the time. And
I think he did, but I think the argument is he could have gone the other side and play could have continued.
Yeah.
That's what Germany are annoyed about there.
But players don't do that anymore, I'm afraid.
Just slows it down. It works in Ivory Coast's
He steps off the
favour.
pitch, you're right, Mike. Yeah, steps off the pitch and then he steps back on. And I suppose technically he shouldn't have been allowed back on, but not quite so strict. He's off the field still, isn't he?
Missed the most recent AFCON through injury, did Singo, back for the World Cup. He's off for the minute. And now Germany come forward. Oh, the ball's hit the referee. Weerts' cross was deflected into the path of the referee, and he says that will be a drop ball, I think, in the Germans' favour, won't it? It was their possession.
It was their possession, yeah. We'll go to them.
The multicoloured ball that we have at this World Cup, looping around the sphere, red, blue and green swirls. Joe Hart's done a piece about how the ball is sometimes causing problems to the goalkeeper.
Our goalkeepers are always complaining.
It was 2010, wasn't it, when we had the roundest ball ever? I think that was the definition. Quite how a round ball becomes even rounder, I'm not sure.
Complained about the Jabulani ball. They complained about when it went from pigskin to what we have now. All sorts.
Evan Gessan emerges with the ball midway inside the German half, feeds it to Jan Diamande on the right-hand side.
Pig's bladder, wasn't it? Whatever it was. It used to be many years ago.
Doué is about to come on. Gaël Doué for the Ivory Coast, brother of Desiree Doué. Those two could meet in the World Cup later on as well. Gaël is the elder brother of Desiree, qualifying to play for the Ivory Coast through his father. He's onto the field and has unsurprisingly replaced the now injured Wilfried Singo. Ivory Coast will hope that hamstring strain isn't too damaging, but the pictures of him in the dugout, he's pulled his shirt over his face, he looks upset, he's probably in tears. That to me suggests that's a World Cup ender.
That'll be a terrible blow.
He has proven problematic in this game for Germany. I'll be glad to see the back of him. So on comes Gaël Doué. Versatile defender, he can play at centre-back, but he'll be taxed at the right-back position. His uncle was the first Ivorian to ref at the World Cup back in USA 94. Now he gets his chance as a player in the 3 hosted tournament. Cross comes in from the left-hand side. Gessan trying to get in position. Did Tar get there first? Referee has said...
He did, yeah. Great play.
Corner, yeah.
Gislan Kone, who just went around the outside of the German defence and whipped the ball in nicely early. Yeah, that says that's potentially a tournament-ending injury for...
Yeah,
Wilfried Singo.
Got his hands over his eyes. He's really upset, Wilfried Singo. The 25-year-old Galatasaray player slumped down in his chair in the dugout. That's a heartbreaking moment on the world stage. They want to play in this tournament as in comes the corner. Skips along, or awkward angled header. Kept alive though. Germany haven't dealt with that necessarily. Runs to Doué, who can't play a meaningful ball. Germany trying to get on the counter-attack. Stopped by the Ivory Coast, who can look forward again though. Fofana, Seiko Fofana out towards the left-hand side. Little dancing feet comes back to Fofana on the turn, gets the shot. Closed quickly down by Nathaniel Brown and had to be. Looked like it was going to curl in towards Manuel Neuer's goal. Then we'd have seen the agility of the 40-year-old. Pounced on by the Ivory Coast. Gets out edge of the penalty area. Runs out. Tar steps across. Throw into the Ivorians on this near side.
Ivory Coast have more than recovered their composure, Mike. They've actually now started, to dominate the game the last 5 or so minutes. Good signs. Not being overly rattled by the goal. Reasserted little bit of authority they had in the moment we kicked off for the second half.
Diamande is coming off. He takes off his black headband that's been holding those short dreadlocks up in place. For any runs he makes down the line, he puts his hands on his hips. Told to go off at the nearest exit by the referee. And Nicolas Pepe is coming on. Villarreal man, formerly of Arsenal. Scored the goal to beat Scotland in one of the warm-ups, and Germany are taking off Kai Havertz and bringing on Leon Goretzka, who is leaving Bayern Munich in the summer, it would seem. Big important player for the national side. He brings a lot of balance. They need a goal, 1-1, with 5 minutes to go on BBC Radio 5 Live. So the change is made.
They certainly love one, Mike, but I don't think either side needs to force the issue now. This would be another point, 4 points going into their final games, and still both fancy themselves to get one more point at least, especially Ivory Coast. And Germany won't have it easy against Ecuador, irrespective of what happens in the last few minutes here. But if they were to lose that game, they'd be very disappointed. Nothing that I've seen from Ecuador so far. Any one game play just says that they'll be too much of a threat.
Long range shot, patted down inside the 6-yard box by Yaya Fofana. It was Dennis Undav fancying his chances again.
Well, it was long way out, wasn't it? Dennis Undav, buoyed by a couple of goals already in this tournament. Some 25 or so yards out, but straight down the throat of the goalkeeper.
So it remains 1-1 with 4 minutes to go of normal time. There'll be a considerable amount of added time, I imagine, as well. We had 7 at the end of the first half. It won't be too dissimilar in the second half. Commentary to come from the US Open. It's over on Sports Extra right now for you. Ecuador against Curacao to follow. Tunisia against Japan tomorrow. Spain against Saudi Arabia. Belgium against Iran. Uruguay, Cape Verde. New Zealand against Egypt, all coming up on BBC Radio 5 Live. Colin Murray's with you from 10 o'clock, where John Barnes is his guest. From 12 o'clock, Katie Smith presenting as we bring you commentary of the final of Queens. Tommy Paul takes on Argentina's Cerundolo. And of course, Sports Extra tomorrow morning has the 5th day of the test match between England and New Zealand. England need 281 in their second innings. It's a long task ahead. Joe Root performing well into the 70s in his innings. As Fofana step overs up against Rudiger, slides it back to the edge of the D from the left-hand side, but can't quite find Frank Kessie, who's already produced one big moment for the Ivory Coast. Was looking for a second, foul given in Germany's favour.
Yeah, guess on. Thought he'd robbed Mecha on the edge of the box. I think he had, actually. Too much contact, but the referee didn't see it that way.
Long ball forward. Stopped by 117 from getting to another, as Doué got in the way before Wiertz could bring it down out of the sky. Shade now covers the entire pitch here at Toronto. Brown from the left-hand side crosses it in. Needs a player to get back there and see it away. I think it's Fofana, wasn't it? Lovely little sidestep though from Pepe, who's off down the right-hand side here. Gessan trying to race with him. Players screaming for it at the back. They found him in space as well. It's a steadying touch. He showed too much to the defender.
Awful touch. Oh, you got to hit that first time. Superb play by Nicolas Pepe, streaming down his right-hand side. Used the dummy run of Evan Gesson heading towards that near post and just sent it to the other side of the box. I think we just got to sight for that one past the goalkeeper. Just got to get your shot off on target. As soon as he took that touch, he was in trouble, and it wasn't a good one. Closed down. So
much space. The work of Pepe, brilliant. All undone by his teammate Simon Adingra, and the option to take the first touch. The Sunderland man, named in the tournament of the team of the tournament from AFCON 2023, Simon Adingra. All the Ivorian subs were on their feet on the touchline, ready to explode, thinking Adingra might become a hero. Touch back, oh, Brown with a swiping shot, arriving in the penalty area. Birch tried to tee him up on the left-hand side of the box. Brown with a first-time hit. That's what Adingra should have done, and it's pushed away and out for a throw-in on the far side.
Well, that's the best touch of the game from Florian Wirtz. Superbly weighted with his left foot, the weaker side, cushioned back superbly. And he really did hit it, Brown, didn't he? He was just moving away from the goalkeeper, who made a smart save. Great football all round.
Fofana back showing his credentials again.
Yeah, just heading towards that far corner. Goalkeeper went down to his left. Nice strong hand. Sent it just a couple of yards wide of his post and then teammates did the rest to clean things up.
Final minute of normal time, 1-1. Long Germany throw from the far side, the right, into the penalty area. Volleyed away by Inau. Clip round the corner. Here's Gessan. He'll turn it around as well. And guess what? Ivory Coast are off on the break again with severe pace. They're looking for Nicolas Pepe down the middle. They feed it between Brown and Tar, the two Germany defenders, and they allow it to run through to Manuel Neuer.
Fofana just had to keep on travelling with the ball. Not sure why he played it. Two German defenders backpedaling. Can take that another 10 yards before he needs to deliver the pass. Or
Leveling low cross in too close to Fofana. I'll tell you what, both teams don't need to win this, but they're going for it.
They're certainly trying for it. But the goalkeeper's getting some boos. Certainly by the German fans. Just seeing the replay of that shot again. That's a great hit, isn't it, from Nathaniel Brown? It's a good save. Superb technique all round. Let's get another shot, view of the run from Nicolas Pepe. Past Jonathan Tah easily. They can't recover. Rudiger comes across. Evan Gosson with a great run to take players away. Yeah, I think we've just got to hit that. Got to hit that first time. Understand he doesn't allow the ball to run across his body, hitting it with his left. He's completely right-footed, but got to take a better touch if he doesn't hit it first time.
Germany forward, left of the D, Undab. Oh, he squared it. This is a chance for Amiri, trying to roll it in. Straight down the middle of the goal. He didn't get the angle he wanted it. Fofana makes the save. We're into 6 minutes of stoppage time, and both sides trying to win it. Germany looking strong.
End-to-end, Mike. Great game of football. This second half, I thought perhaps could just peter out in the last 10 or so minutes. Absolutely not being the case. Amiri's got to put his foot through that ball. And if he doesn't, he goes for a slide, for which he does, then you've got to try and find a corner.
Feel that both sides are going to get one more chance in added time. And it's a question of who can take it. BBC Radio 5 Live, World Cup 2026. Germany 1, Ivory Coast 1. Win for the Netherlands earlier today, 5-1. Ecuador, Curacao, Tunisia, Japan that come to round off day 9 of the World Cup. Germany come forward. Here's Mecha. He's been bright in the middle of the field for Germany today. He's won important balls, he's played important passes, he's won a few tackles and intercepted and read the game well. Kimmich swings it in too close to Fofana, who clutches at stomach level.
Mecha's been their best player. He's done his first year in terms of supporting the attacking players, but in terms of ball stealing and awareness, recovering when teammates got out of position, he's been a star man for Germany.
Yeah. Joshua Kimmich, the Germany captain, describes him as one of the most talented players in the squad. He's lived up to that today, the former Manchester City academy player. Throw into the Ivory Coast on this near side, 10 yards inside the German half.
He's a big guy as well, good physical presence, gets around the field to receive the ball as well, find teammates. Nothing flashy about his game, just solid in every department.
Nagelsmann issuing instructions, holding out a right hand on the edge of his technical area. Ball bounces awkwardly. Who's going to seize control of it? Kasunu does for the Ivory Coast, but referee has pulled it back for a free kick here to Germany, with Nathaniel Brown just getting back on his haunches. Germany 1, Ivory Coast 1. 4 minutes of added time still to go here.
I'd be shutting up shop if I were MS5. So you know what, a point against Germany is a great result. Julian Nagelsmann will probably be feeling, we are the more vaunted side on paper. We should be going and trying to make sure we get the extra 2 points in offer. But I think we've got to accept this is a very good Ivorian side. You've not been on top for large parts of the game. You're not creating more chances than they have done. The point is not a bad result. We play Ecuador in our final game. And absolutely, we'll be thinking that we'll get absolute minimum point there, and we progress to the knockout phase without too much in terms of drama.
Ivory Coast boss Emma's Face said they had the potential to do something exceptional. They'll approach every match with the ambition to win. They did so. They took the lead against Germany. It was pulled back in the second half by substitute Dennis Undab's close-range volley from across on the right. But here come Germany again, trying to find Undab. Brown trying to feed him in on the edge of the penalty area. Ivory Coast have got it away for now. Tar on the edge of the centre circle to the left-hand side of it. To Florian Wirtz, who just stalls the ball under his pink right boot. Back to Jonathan Tah. And then a ball down the middle from Mecha. Oh, they've won it! Dennis Undab in stoppage time takes 3 points from Germany right under the feet of the Ivory Coast. Ball down the middle. Undab on the turn in the box. And right-footed fires it low past Fofana. And there's huge celebrations behind the goal to our left-hand side as he's mobbed by his teammates. The Ivory Coast look dumb stoppage time. Super sub Dennis Undav does it for Germany, and it's Germany 2, Ivory Coast 1.
Well, it's a great finish, you have to admit. Superb play. What about the ball from Imechi in the middle of the park? So he fired that in from some 25 yards from 15 yards outside the box into Undav, who kills it with one touch with his right foot on the half turn. He turns and hits it immediately with the left. They're the instincts and the positioning of a striker. Yaya Fofana's got no chance, but the gap in the middle of the park, you cannot do that. The final minutes of the game, you've got to close the game down. If you're not able to close down Imechi who fires the ball, you've got to make sure that you are touch tight. Do not allow Undav to turn control. It's a great finish. Germany have stolen it right at the end.
And Ingrid clutches his shirt over his head. He knows his chance at the other end could have had that explosion of emotion that we've just seen from Germany for the Ivory Coast, but it wasn't. And Dennis Undav picks up the shoulders of his shirt and shows his name to the cameras. It is Conan on the far side of the penalty area who's playing him on by a good yard or so.
Clearly onside.
And Undav turns left-footed, plays it past the right boot of Fofana, who's diving ever so slightly to his other side. And down the middle of the goal, Dennis Undav, 90+4, sparks wild celebrations in the Germany fans and amongst the benches too. Nagelsmann was mobbed by his coaching staff. Big moment for Germany in this World Cup. It's going to put them into the knockout stages. Ivory Coast will have to do it against Curacao on the final day of this group. But what a game, and we thought it would be, and these two have given us an excellent 90 minutes.
Yeah, shoulda, woulda, coulda. What they didn't do in the last few minutes to try and take the sting out of the game, to nullify Germany, say if you're going to do something then it's got to be absolutely special. It's a great finish, but the amount of space he was given just inside the box really at this level is absolutely criminal. Been made to pay when they've had chances themselves. Ivory missed a great one. Amiri had a chance, he could have put Germany 2-1 up a few minutes earlier.
Germany bench waiting for the whistle. 6 minutes of added time shown, but they didn't half take their time on the celebrations. So I think there'll be a little bit more added on. We're closer to 7 minutes now of stoppage time. Germany 2, Ivory Coast 1. Arguably one of the games of the World Cup so far.
Decision to make, doesn't he, for the final game? Julian Nagelsmann, does he start Dennis Undav? He'll have to drop one of his big names, doesn't he, in that front line.
Well, that would perhaps be the biggest apology of all from Dennis Undav as Fofana sends the ball long. Huge scream of emotion from Julian Nagelsmann, and man under pressure in the Germany job. His side, his substitute, has won the game with 2 goals. Dennis Undav.